All right, got breaking news. Um, Derik Queen underwent successful surgery today, repairing. I'm not going to even say it was a ligament in his left wrist. Uh, the team announced that he will be reevaluated in 12 weeks. So Derik Queen plays 3 games, already gets hurt, and then you have what's interesting, right, with this whole Derik Queen situation. The only thing anyone's been talking about is everything that Joe Dumars traded on draft night to get Derik Queen. So now Derik Queen has his best, I thought, overall game a couple nights ago, gets injured, and now he's going to be, this is very important, he gets reevaluated in 12 weeks. So we're July 18th today. 3 months. So that puts you at October 18th. Training camp is sometime around then, late October. So he's going to be out 3 months, can't use his left wrist. That's the good news. The good news here is that this is on his left wrist and not his right wrist. Shooting hand will be his right. He should be able to condition, should be able to do a lot of different things, but it just sucks to hear this injury news again surrounding the New Orleans Pelicans. So that is brutal. I'm going to tell you another brutal stat from Will Guillory. 2 of them. The only healthy bigs currently on the Pelicans roster, and Grubb has talked about this a lot too, is they have a tough time rebounding the basketball. So here are your only healthy centers going into next year. Misi, Makovich, Looney, and Hunter Dickinson on a 2-way. So those are your only bigs on the roster. So I'm very interested to see what Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars do here. Are they going to get another, center because now Derik Queen is out and once again reevaluated in 12 weeks? That doesn't mean he'll be back in 12 weeks. So hopefully he can get back sooner rather than later. But now you're going to go into training camp. Trey Murphy's hurt. Herb Jones is hurt. DeJounte Murray's hurt. Derik Queen's hurt. 4, and I'm counting Derik Queen as being a major contributor this season. 4 major contributors with healthy concerns already going into the season. And the biggest one in Zion Williamson, who played 30 games last year. So you now have 5 guys that have a question mark on if they're healthy or not. So just brutal news surrounding Derik Queen, who once again I thought played his best overall game last time. It was whether against Portland or Oklahoma City, on one of those teams. Either way, news sucks. So now the Pelicans are going to have to figure out a depth issue, because I don't think you can have Hunter Dickinson, like what you've seen from the summer league. Like, I don't think he's a guy that can fill a bench role here if Derik Queen's going to miss part of the season, which I think I don't know. It's tricky, right? So it's your wrist. So he should still be able to condition and do all that kind of stuff. But once again, you got to build strength back in that wrist, and rehab's a bitch, and so on and so forth. And you get your timing down and catching the basketball. And with Queen, the one thing he does well is that he has a good handle with both his right and left hand. So that's going to take some time to get accustomed to. He also finishes with his left hand. So he's not this like one hand dominant player like Zion is. Like, he uses both hands. So the fact that this is on his left wrist, like, I'm glad it's not his shooting hand, but this is still going to be a process here where, just another injury, man. It just doesn't stop for this team. And then it doesn't help that you gave up your entire future for next year for Derik Queen, and he's already hurt. And now you're just going to get more and more shit from national media. I already seen on Twitter and so on and so forth. So that trade is already looking bad. I mean, it was already bad. Now it's looking even worse that Derik Queen's already injured. So I hope he's okay. I hope he comes back soon. But reality is another injury. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Derik Queen, Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray. That's 5 major contributors. You have question marks going into next season. And keep in mind what everyone's been talking about. You gave up your future in the next year's draft for this year, and you have 5 major question marks going into next season health-wise. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate everybody. Let's hear your thoughts on the Derik Queen injury.